Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Mackenzie and today's video is going to be my January wrap-up. And there's construction going on in the apartment building across the road. They're just redoing the roofing, so it might be a little loud. I'm not too sure if the camera will pick it up very well. Hopefully not. So usually I do my monthly wrap-up and my next month TBR in the same video, but I've read quite a few books this month, as you can tell, so I'm going to separate it into two videos. So let's get started. The first book I finished is Unite Me by Tahereh Mafi, and this was in my last wrap-up video. That's because I just read Destroy Me in it. This month I finished Fracture Me and also the Juliet's Journal part. I just read this much of it, so it's a very small portion. The next books I finished are Unravel Me and Ignite Me, and these are both by Tahereh Mafi. This is the second book and this is the third book in the Shatter Me trilogy, and this series is fantastic. I wasn't sure whether I would like it a lot, but reading it I just got really into it, and I just read these just straight after each other, and the covers are gorgeous. They are just really fantastic books. It kind of reminds me of X-Men. There's a nice mix of romance, action, fighting, and self-discovery in this book. It just was very well-rounded. I really enjoyed it. And before I picked up this book, I thought there's words and then there's like the line through them, and I thought that would irritate me, so it took me a bit to pick them up. But honestly, it doesn't really take away from the story. It's not very irritating. It didn't really bug me at all. So I'm really happy I picked these books up. The next book I finished is Losing Hope by Colleen Hoover, and this one I finished right at the beginning of the month, and it is the second book. The first book is Hopeless. This is Losing Hope, and this one is from Dean's point of view. This was really irritating because it was pretty much just the same story over, and I really like Colleen Hoover. I like her writing style, I like her books. I still enjoyed this book, but it wasn't my favorite. I feel like she had too many of the same scenes. If there were other scenes more, it would be more interesting, but since there was just too many of the same scenes, it was too repetitive. I had to wait a bit after I read Hopeless. It was kind of irritating in that sense. But it is interesting to see what Dean was thinking through some of the weird things he did. Also this month, I read Eve and Adam by Michael Grant and Catherine Applegate. So this one is about Evening, or Eve, or some people call her Evie, but let's just call her Eve. So this is about Eve, and she gets in a really bad car accident. Her leg is just completely off and it gets put back on, and her arm is crushed. She's just in very serious condition. So she goes through a 14-hour surgery and she's at the local hospital. So her mom takes her out from the hospital and takes her to the Spiker Biopharmaceuticals, which is her mother's research center. So once Eve is there, she gets fixed up by her mom's staff. And when she's recovering, her mom gives her a special project, and it is to build the most perfect boy using the simulation software that they developed to help students learn about genetics. And this book was fantastic. It is pretty short, but it is amazing. I was kind of skeptical. I didn't really think too much about it before I got it and started reading it. One of my friends at work said she really enjoyed it and she was excited that I was reading it too. So thank you, Charlie. This book was really fun and I really like the cover. The next book I finished is actually a graphic novel. It is Amulet, and it's by Kazu Kibushi, and it is book 1 in the Stonekeeper series. And since I got this one at Salvation Army, I've been checking every couple days to see if the second one's in, but I haven't seen it yet. This one is adorable, it's exciting, the pictures are amazing. It's, I believe, a middle grade one, and I believe it was published in 2008. It's about Emily and Naveen. They're on an adventure to find their mother and save their mother. The girl finds an amulet and she has to protect it. And there's a bunch of crazy monsters and It's in this crazy world and it's just really fun. I would definitely pick this up if you're looking for a fun graphic novel that is not for mature audiences, one that is more okay for all ages. And the 7th book I finished this month is Landline by Rainbow Rowell, and I'm happy I finally finished this one. This is a really good book. It made me think about life in a different way and about the future, and I really enjoyed that I was able to connect to the story even though I'm not a mom. I don't have the same life experiences as this character. Like, it is about Georgie McCool, and she has a very special opportunity, but to do this she has to stay and work over Christmas. But her husband and their kids go to the grandparents' house for Christmas and leave Georgie alone. She finds a phone, a yellow landline phone, that she can talk to her husband in the past. So she goes through this, wow, my chair is so squeaky. She goes through a process of thinking about her marriage and what her and her husband have been through, and thinking about the future and what she needs to do to help the marriage, or if they shouldn't be married in the first place. And it was a fantastic story. It was quite emotional. I really did enjoy this a lot. The 8th book I read this month is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I've already talked about this book a lot, so if you want to know about it, just check out my review. It was the last video I put up. So it is still currently January 28th, and the month isn't over yet, so I am sure I will be able to finish one more book, and I'm already part way through this one, and it is Fairest by Marissa Meyer, and I will definitely be able to finish this like today or tomorrow. And this is Lavina's story. This is amazing so far. She's such an intriguing character. She's the evil queen in all the other books, but this one you get an insight into her life growing up, when she wasn't queen, when she was still a princess. Very interesting. And the cover kind of creeps me out. I couldn't actually have this face up when I went to go to bed last night. I had to flip it over. Yeah, kind of creeps me out. This is really pretty too. This is a very gorgeous. So the Lady at Chapter said that this book was going to be released on the 27th of January. We went to a bookstore near my house and it was the 24th and they had them out. So I'm not sure if that bookstore just messed up and put them out too early, or if Chapters was wrong about the release date. I actually haven't checked because I have it in my hands and that's all that matters. And one thing I didn't know about this book is it has chapter 1 to 3 of Winter, which is going to be released in fall of 2015, and I'm so excited to read this part, but then it'll just make me more excited and then I have to wait a long time, but that's okay. I'm glad I'm sitting. Okay. Here we go. So these are all the books I read this month, and it has been a really productive reading month compared to the last few months. I've been doing really bad with reading. I'd say I'm officially out of my reading slump. So many books. Nine books out of my reading slump. This is pretty fantastic. It's pretty fantastic. And thank you for watching my January wrap-up video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will be putting reviews of these books over time on my blog. Some of them will make it into videos. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in my February TBR video. Bye.